What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hussle. Yes, we are back at it again with another one, another banger, another hot video. And you know when I come with these videos, late in the morning, early at night, wherever you want to call it, in the middle of the night, I don't do no intros, I get right to it. So, a lot of people have been asking me about this credit game. How people getting rich off credit, how scammers is doing this, how scammers is doing that. Because a lot of people don't understand that credit is becoming the number one. Well, credit, first of all, credit has always been the number one money game in the world. But people are starting to realize how easy it is to get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. And if it's easy to get a loan, credit card, and line of credit, and you can get it with a CPN or do these other little tricks or whatever, then why not try it and make it happen? So, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how some of the tricks that scammers and fraudsters are doing to use credit to be able to make $10,000, $25,000 a day doing some type of credit fraud. Now, you got a lot of different things that's going on when it comes to credit and fraud. A lot of different things. One way a scammer is making profit or gaining off somebody's credit is identity theft. Now, when it comes to identity theft, scammers or fraudsters are coming up with ways to become somebody who has good credit to obtain their credit and get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. There are so many different ways in the world for somebody to get information. You got people, see, like I've told y'all before in all the other videos, if there's a will, there's a way. If you sit around all day trying to figure out how to get some money, and something comes to your head and you say, okay, what's a way that I can get this information, or what's a way that I can get that information? You're going to start thinking a certain way. So scammers and fraudsters are thinking a certain way. They're saying, okay, I want to get somebody with good credit. How do I find out people, where do I go to get people's information with good credit? So you got people that's literally sticking around good neighborhoods, stealing people's mails, getting their information, searching certain different information, getting this information of this person. And then you got people who are on the dark web who buying information. You got people who are all different type of ways that people get information. So you got to understand, if somebody finds a millionaire's information, creates a fake ID with this person's information, now technically that person has become that person. So you got people who own houses. You got people who got credit cards. You got people who got bank accounts. You got people who got so many different things. So if that person was to get a fake ID, that person can go open up a bank account. And what people are doing is they're getting these fake IDs and they're opening up bank accounts, and then they're applying for Visa signature cards, credit cards. Now, depending on that person's credit limit will determine the amount that that person will get approved for. And you can accept documentations and do all this over the phone. You don't gotta go into the bank. You can do all this over the phone. There's so much that you can do over the phone that these fraudsters and scammers are starting to figure out, that's making it easy for them to do certain things when it comes to credit fraud. So, like I said, they're getting signature Visa cards. Depending on the credit that person has, they're getting approved for. So let's say this person got an $8,000 Visa signature card. They're getting cash advances off those credit cards. So you will get a cash advance off an $8,000 credit card for $4,000 or $5,000. That's $4,000 or $5,000. And then they applying for so many credit cards, because you can apply for a lot of credit cards. And you can get approved for different credit cards. Let's say that person then applies for a loan or a line of credit or something. People create fake documents for, like I'll tell you on my credit videos. People will literally figure out how to alter documentations to be able to get certain things. So if this person has a fake ID and these fake documentations, they're going to create those documentations to be able to get that loan that they're seeking to get. And like I said, since it's a fake ID and a fake profile, it's not going to fall back on the fraudster. It's going to fall back on the person's information that they have. So you got credit card fraud that they're doing. You got credit loan fraud that they're doing. Then you got people who are, like I said, get somebody information. The fraudsters and the scammers are figuring out what's all going on. So somebody owns a house. They can refinance their house. They can take out an equity loan on that house. They can sell that house just because they has that person's information. So let's say somebody wanted to take out an equity loan on their house. Let's say that house worth $1 million. You can do everything over the phone. And that's the crazy part. That's the scary part. And that's the part that a lot of people are not understanding. A lot of things can be done over the phone nowadays. And since things can be done over the phone, it's making it easier for the fraudsters, the scammers to do things, because all they're doing is mailing in or emailing information. And it's fake scan documentations. It's not hard to get fake documentation. And that's what people are not understanding. So credit has a lot of scammers and a lot of fraudsters have switched over to the credit world, because like I told y'all before, credit some good Kool-Aid. Credit will allow you to be able to walk into a bank and get a lump sum of money. The main goal of fraud and scamming is to make money. The most money as possible. Some good Kool-Aid. So with all this credit going on in the world, people starting to learn about loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. And then for the people who has been committing identity theft before to get certain things, now they starting to come to the credit world. You got people who are getting cars with fake identities. You got people who are getting these cars, driving them around, selling them, turning them to strikers, doing all different type of things. See, it's a lot of different methods out here. A lot of different methods. You got a method for almost any and everything. And it's multiple ways to do the same method. So if scammers and fraudsters are coming up with new ways and different angles to do a method, it's making them more money. And at the end of the day, everything in the world is a scam. Everything in the world is some type of scam or fraud going on. Behind every business, every corporation, everything, there's some type of foolery or trickery going on. When it comes to credit, it's making it easier for people to do the things that they want to do. Because people are starting to say, man, I'm not going to keep cashing these checks. I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep doing that. When I could just go get a loan. But it's crazy how people will build the credit on a CPN or something before they build their own credit. But which is kind of not crazy, because you know what they're trying to do. So credit has become a booming, I don't want to say this, a booming territory, because it's the #1 money game in the world. This right here, you can walk in the bank and get that with just a couple pieces of documentation. And if you can do it under another profile, why not? That's how the scammers are thinking. If you can do it under another profile, why not? If it won't come back to you, why not? And then they think they're slick enough, so sometimes it doesn't come back to them. Sometimes it does, depending on the situation. So a lot of fraud and there's a lot of scamming going on when it comes to credit. As far as getting loans, credit cards, lines of credit, cards, homes. You got people who are utilizing CPNs and renting out apartments and having people are paying them to rent out the apartment. Like, it's getting crazy. Like, it's getting wild out here what this credit game is doing. But who really cares? Nobody cares, because life be life, and people do what they gotta do to do what they gotta do. And people want to figure out the easiest ways to make the most money. People want to find out the cheapest ways to make the most. And a lot of people say, oh, this or that, but a lot of people, if the opportunity presented itself, they would take it. So, me, personally, I teach credit for the better. I teach people credit to help them get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, but do it the right way. I don't control what people decide to do in their lives. If I teach somebody how to get credit, build their credit profile, and they decide to go to the CPN and do it with that, that's not on me. I have nothing to do with that. People figure out loopholes and they exploit loopholes all day, every day. That's just how the world works. So, believe it or not, credit is definitely one of the top methods in the world right now for a scammer or a fraudster to get some money. And that's just what it is. Because they starting to figure out that these checks is getting too complicated. These runners is going in the bank, getting caught, and they narking on them. They starting to figure out that these dumps and pins are duplicate cards. You got to be on camera too much. And you just coming from somebody else's account. Like, they starting to see the reward and the risk with these things. And they say, you know what? Credit has the biggest reward with the lowest risk. Because all we're doing is using identity, using credit, building it, get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. That's why so many people right now in the world are utilizing CPNs, credit privacy numbers. I didn't create them. The government created them. The government created CPNs for people in the witness protection program, all different type of reasons, to conceal identities. And once the government creates it, it's now open field for anybody to create them. Like I told y'all, if y'all got any type of parents, anybody parents ever put a bill in their name or anything like that, that's a CPN. That was basically a CPN. They had a whole new credit profile, and they did it with your credit social security number. So people have been creating new credit profiles for the longest. It's just not, people are starting to realize that you can try merge them, you can establish them, build them, get loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, and do this and do that, and profit off these things, and without anything coming back to their original profile. Like I told y'all, if y'all actually stepped outside the box, turned around, and looked at what's going on in the world, you would be amazed. It's movies out here that's being generated and being created off of Ponzi schemes and off scam and fraud money. And so many businesses being created off fraud and scam money and bogus loans and this and that. Like, don't y'all hear in the news is always some type of bogus or janky business going on behind the scenes? Almost every celebrity, every business, everything. And it makes it hard for people to even work with people and do business with people because they know it's bound to happen. Go watch a show called American Greed, and you will really see what's really going on out here in the world. It's crazy out here in the world. So it's people out here that really want to make some money. It's people out here that really want to utilize money. And they use their brain to think smarter, to work smarter and not harder. So if you can literally walk into a bank and get a lump sum of money, you can literally create a new synthetic identity and build a credit on it and go get some money with the synthetic identity. That's what they're thinking, like, why not? Instead of doing this method, going into this bank, trying to get this $7,000 check, trying to get this stolen credit card to get a couple $100. Why do all that when we could just get a lump sum of money? And it's not and people saying, I could create me 100 CPNs and get me 100 loans for it. That's how people be thinking. That's how green it is. But you got a lot of people who hear about it and then they be like, oh, I want to make some money with a CPN and off credit. And then they see that you got to learn how to do this, But man, I'll do that later. Nothing in life is easier, free, or eat. Like, y'all got to stop thinking credit is easy to build and establish. Nothing is easy to build and establish when it comes to getting money. So credit is becoming the #1 method to make money with fraudsters and scammers. They doing it with identity theft, taking people's identities getting loans, credit cards, lines of credit, refinancing homes. You got people who are doing anything, everything that anybody would do with their own credit to obtain money, and doing it with fake IDs and fake identity. All right, so credit fraud is definitely on the rise. Credit fraud is definitely people need to be aware of it. There's a lot of ways to prevent it from happening. It's a lot of ways, like LifeLock, getting your LifeLock so you can freezing your credit report. So, you know what I mean? You could be safe and aware so it won't happen to you, because it's a lot of data leaks going on out here. It's a lot of companies that's stealing people's information. There's a lot of people that's getting slick and figuring out how to get certain information certain ways. So you just gotta be more safe, and you gotta be more cautious and aware out here, because you never know what could happen, man. So credit fraud is definitely on the rise. It's getting a lot of people rich. It's getting a lot of methods out here with credit that's not illegal, but it's frowned upon. So you might think it's illegal, but it's actually not. But they just wouldn't suggest you do it, like CPNs. It's not illegal, it's just frowned upon. So it's only illegal when you use somebody else's information. That's illegal. Using somebody else's information to create a profile, get a fake ID, that's illegal. CPN, that's a profile, it's not a CPN. That's when it's illegal, all right? So make sure y'all really tapping in with this information. Make sure y'all hearing what I'm saying. Make sure y'all getting y'all credit together. Make sure y'all being more safe, cautious, and aware, and paying attention to what's going on out there, because credit can really get you rich on the legal side for sure. Investing in businesses, investing into you, and people are making money with credit on the other side. So make sure y'all tapping in, man. Make sure y'all staying more aware. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit the notification bell, get these lessons, get these load ups, and let's make cash together. It's your boy, King Hussle. Y'all know how to get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson or video. Peace.